Good rainy Sunday morning, guys. We gotta go do a little delivering, but I figured while we delivered, we'd have a little chat about my firewood operation and why we continue to do things the way that we're doing it. We've got 2 cords on the Tundra, and then we'll come back. And I've got a cord on the Lamborghini, aka the Chevy dump truck. We'll get those delivered, but first let's go make some coffee because it's early still. So most people complain about a rainy Sunday morning. You won't get me to complain about it. It gives me a little bit of a break and a chance to do some thinking. And I was thinking about a comment that I've seen pop up on our videos just about every single time that we do a video where we've got a big production day where we do, 4 or more cords and things like that. And that question is, why don't you guys have a processor? And the answer is, pretty simple for me, but harder to understand for others. I'm not doing firewood for just myself. Gramp and Kevin, they both get money from the firewood that we sell. And those are 2 people that have kind of come to expect and depend on that money a little bit, even though it's side income for them. It's steady side income. And my grandfather has always helped me when I was growing up, when I was in school, when I was in college, when I was a young adult learning how to be a father and starting a family. My grandfather has helped me in more ways than I could begin to count. So there will never be a day that I change the process and take anything away from him. Also, as a little side note, I've been telling you guys he's 76. Nope, I was wrong. I know how old I am, so that should have told me how old he was. But he's actually 78. He'll be 79 in September. So, that just makes what he does even that more remarkable, I guess, because I know at 39 years old, I would not be out there cutting as much wood by hand as he does. I'd have a processor. But it's what keeps him going. It's what keeps him motivated, and it's what he really, truly loves to do. I was really excited the other day when we went and dropped off those 2 chainsaws to him. He lit right up. But his first question, because he's always worried about me and making sure that everything's taken care of, is, well, how are we going to pay for those? And, again, paying for them wasn't a big deal. The business paid for them. And by the business, I mean my business and YouTube. And you guys helped to pay for that. And when he found out, that we're really making money, and I showed him my YouTube creator app and showed him, look, we're making a little bit of money. Trust me, guys, it is not much, but we're making a little bit. It'll take a long time for YouTube to pay for those saws, but that's okay. We've got time. He kind of perked up and opened up and talked, and I could just tell he was excited and relieved to have a couple of new saws that he hopefully wasn't going to have to work on and fuss with a lot. So that made me happy to be able to help him and to give back a little bit. And I asked him, I said, I know you don't wear hats. I said, they gave me a hat with them when I got the 2 saws. I said, I don't wear hats either. I said, but Kevin does. I said, you want to give Kevin the hat? Oh, yeah. He says, I would. He said, he says, he should have it. So when I went back, Kevin got the hat. So, everybody got a little piece of happy that day. The van that Kevin drives used to be our van. Kevin ran on some hard times and was struggling with money, and he needed some extra money, and that's how he started to come help me. And when we found out what was going on, he was such an excellent help, and he was dependable and reliable, and just do anything you need done. I told my wife, I said Kevin and his family need a vehicle. Kevin's the only one that drives. His wife doesn't drive. I said, what about giving them our old van? I said, and then when they get money, whenever that may be, they can just pay us back. And my wife said, yes, I think that's a great idea. And when I told Gramp what I did, he smiled from ear to ear, because that's something that he would have done for anybody that he knew too. Gramps always been really big on helping somebody that he knew needed help and that wasn't just looking for a handout, because there's a difference between looking for help and looking for a handout. Kevin's never looking for a handout ever. He works hard for everything that he has. I've known Kevin since I was 15 years old. My very first job I had working in a local restaurant in Old Town, Maine called Governor's. Anybody that's been to Maine has probably seen a Governor's restaurant. There's 4 or 5 of them across the state. They make home-style food, and I washed dishes and bussed tables at Governor's, and Kevin was a dishwasher and a prep cook. So I've known Kevin since I was 15 years old, and Kevin was actually an employee of mine when I ran a commercial bakery for 7 or 8 years. He worked for me there as well, so I've known Kevin for a long time. But it was really good to be able to get them some reliable wheels, and it's worked out well for his family. He's got some small kids, so the extra room is really nice for him, and it's good to help each other when you can. So we kind of got off track there a little bit because we wanted to know why we weren't getting a processor, and I started. Kevin and Gramp depend on the money that comes from Firewood, and I appreciate and enjoy their help just as much as I enjoy doing Firewood. Firewood for me has never been a chore. So that's why we were looking, and that's why we're still looking and going to Bunyan to check out the new commercial splitters that are on the market. I've been looking at some European options that aren't even really necessarily over here yet, but the new X-Knife splitters with the indexing conveyors. I'm checking out all the options. We need to be able to go a little bit faster so that we can put out a little more volume. Probably thinking I'd like to be in the 20 to 25 quart a week range for as long as I can. It doesn't hold that pace year round, but it holds it for a pretty good portion. There's a couple of 6 to 8 week windows where everything slows right down, and we don't get to do a whole lot. That's usually when excuse me, when I would go work in the woods or when I do something different, but there'll be those windows and it'll slow down. So we're looking for the bigger splitter. If for some strange reason Gramp ever decided to say, hey, I think I want to look at the processors, we'll go look at a processor, and I'll stick Gramp in the seat or on an operator platform at any of those processors. He was a heavy equipment mechanic and millwright by trade for almost 40 years at a local paper mill. He knows his way inside and out around machinery and diesel engines and hydraulics and all that stuff. So the knowledge that he has is just amazing. There isn't anything he can't fix, I don't think. And I want to do right by him. He's my first priority with the business. As long as the business is making money and we're solvent, I don't really care about much else. I'll take care of Kevin and Gramp. So I know that was kind of a long, rambling answer, but that's why I do Firewood the way that I do it. So we'll go get this delivered, and then we'll get back to the yard and we'll swap trucks. But I just wanted to take a minute and just let you guys know why we do Firewood the way we do, and a little bit of a backstory on why Gramp and Kevin are as important to me as they are. So I'm back in the wood yard, and it looks like Gramp found our load of firewood once the weather turned nice. Let me spin you around here. So it looks like Gramp found the firewood here. There's this big round. That's probably an 18 to 20 inch round. Looks like he cut a tank of fuel. I'm assuming it was probably the big saw, but we'll find out when we talk to him in the morning. But yeah, weather turned out nice. We just got back from my youngest son Richard's first ever football game, and they won 19-0, so that was pretty good. We're gonna unhook the dump trailer, run into town, and do a few back to school errands, get those knocked out before Labor Day tomorrow. But I think tomorrow morning we're gonna spend the morning cutting with Gramp, and then Kevin and I have some firewood that we're gonna try to get done early so that we can have an afternoon barbecue with family and friends. But we got plenty of wood blocked up ahead, and Gramp's been here and been busy, which isn't a surprise. He also popped by this morning to fix the pull cord on the lawnmower because he saw the pull cord was pulled out, so he pulled the recoil off and took it back to his house and fixed it. Even though we've got what we need to here, that's the type of guy Gramp is. If he sees it's broke, he fixes it. So if you like this stuff, guys, give us a like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll do some cutting with Grant.